Welcome again to the big match. Yes, Malcolm Allison, as he was during some of those heady days as Crystal Palace manager. Well, yesterday he returned to Selhurst Park as manager of Manchester City, and in a moment you'll see the reception he got from the fans. So that's our main match then, Crystal Palace against Manchester City, backed up by Derby County against West Bromwich Albion, and from the second division, Sunderland against Chelsea. And today a special competition where the prize is a day with the England team when they face Bulgaria later this month, and a chance for you to meet the players. And your letters, as we see 4 London managers in playing action. But now let's have some current action. Crystal Palace against Manchester City, and the moment when the crowd started to look towards the tunnel for the sight of a familiar figure. Well, here is Malcolm Allison today. It's ironic, really, that today we shall see him sitting on the bench at Selhurst Park, because during his time here as a manager, he was banned from taking up that position and had to sit in the director's box. And just look at the welcome that he's getting from the Palace fans here. In fact, earlier today he was saying to me, it's almost like coming home. Well, he's one of the great characters of the game, and the welcome is a really warm one. He knows these young Palace players well. Indeed, one of them, Steve Mackenzie, only 17 years old, he bought from Crystal Palace for £275,000, even though he'd never played in the first team here. Well, it's Steve's first visit back here, and Barry Silkman is another former Palace player in the City side today, recalled after missing 8 games. Let's check first of all then on the Crystal Palace side, and 2 serious blows for them. Jerry Francis and Mike Flanagan are both missing. Flanagan's got a hamstring. Francis is almost fit, but manager Terry Venables decided not to risk the former England captain. Steve Kember continues in the midfield, and back to the attack comes Dave Swindlehurst. And indeed, it's quite a responsibility for Swindlehurst, who scored 4 times this season, but has been out for the last 3 games. As for Manchester City, they had 2 injury blows yesterday, when Colin Viljoen and the Pole Kazi Dana were both ruled out. But the good news for them was that the £1.5 million man, Steve Daly, was fit to return after missing 3 games with a broken toe. The referee today, it's Clifford Maskell of Cambridge, and the guest of honour in the director's box today, Mr. Ian Smith, taking time off from those protracted talks at Lancaster House. Palace then kick off in the white strip, attacking the goal to our right. Manchester City in a change strip of red and black stripes with black shorts. Dave Swindlehurst caught offside straight away. It's incredible when we looked at those 2 team captions a little earlier, to think that no fewer than 11 of the 24 players who are on those team sheets are teenagers here today. Intrewood with the header down for Crystal Palace to Hilaire. Kember trying to get it back again. Mackenzie trying to get in for Manchester City. Now it's Paul Power switching it, I think, with a little bit of luck there, finding Ray Ransom. And Sanson trying to get his challenge in, forcing, in fact, Nick Reed to put the ball away. Walsh underneath this one. Caton not judging it at all well on that occasion. Swindlehurst laying it back here for Hilaire. Flicked in there towards Corrigan, and Walsh! Well, he really should have had something there. Walsh, I think, was more intent on watching Corrigan's reaction. That was a delightful ball put in by Hilaire. Corrigan hesitated, and so did Walsh, and a chance went begging. Bennett coming very quickly off his man there. Ranson again. Supported by Reed, the number 10, but there were enough Palace shirts there to mop up that little situation. Swindlehurst, good control, a nice little ball play there for Walsh, and in turn for Murphy. Ian Walsh again, and getting it across. Oh, and Swindlehurst almost got the touch in. Beautiful bit of play again by Crystal Palace. When the ball comes through to Walsh, played across the goal there, and Swindlehurst couldn't quite touch it home. So Palace, in the opening 5 minutes, have had two quite reasonable chances. Kemba. Strong ball from Butcher. His brother is now playing in America. Silkman. That's a good cross as well. Good play by Burridge. A little bit of luck going his way. City could easily have picked up something there, as Silkman, certainly some beautiful crossing of the ball here today, and Silkman's cross was perfection, and Burridge needed to be at his best and needed to have a little bit of luck as well. Ransom. Bennett. Mackenzie trying to get on the action as well, but it's Murphy coming away from Crystal Palace, slanting a ball there. Clayton really didn't know where it was. And Steve Daly putting it straight to Hilaire. It'll come back to Hilaire again. A chance for a shot, a little chip, oh, just marginally over. And Hilaire nearly punishing Daly for that mistake of his. Daly planting the ball straight at Hilaire, and Hilaire finding room to get in a shot. And what a lovely little chip it was, just over that City crossbar. Daly. Hilaire wanted to handle that ball. And here's Silkman, down by Mackenzie's pass. Power going outside him. Silkman looking to get a shot in, and what a good one, and what a good save. Well, there's no shortage of really brilliant football here today. John Burridge coming to complain about something. Got a cut on the head there, maybe. And while that gets a bit of attention, and he must have hit his head on the post as he made that save. My word, what a good save it was, though. And it's Silkman who cuts in there. Let's go with the right foot, curling in, and a really miraculous save by Burridge. Well, Burridge is okay. From his head, as you can see there. Staley takes this corner for Manchester City. Burridge just pawing it away. Here's Hilaire. Word, the game's only 10 minutes old, and we've had skill and excitement in abundance. Daly's little touch, caught by Kemba. Free kick for City. Bennett. Silkman. Nice touch by Silkman. Daly. Played in for Bennett. Oh, that... Well, I tell you, that looked to me inside the penalty area, and Bennett coming down. May well be that Crystal Palace there with that incident were a little lucky to escape not conceding a penalty. Explanation coming from the referee. And in fact, a yellow card's coming out. I think probably, I've got a feeling it might be Peter Nicholas of Palace. That's Paul Power. Power presumably complaining about the lack of a penalty. A goal kick for Palace. And Caden getting in first. Murphy. Blocked. Challenge again by Jim Cannon. Walsh on the far side, Swindlehurst in the middle. Cannon's continued his run. Walsh is right in there, Swindlehurst is in there. And in the end, it was Tommy Caton who got it away. What a great bit of play, though, by Jim Cannon, the big Scottish number 5 of Palace. Played a full part in that, and a cross that really had City struggling for a moment or two. Coming towards the half-hour mark. Touch back by Walsh, but not quite the touch he wanted. Might get another chance. That's another corner. There, Kemba, a different sort of corner, and it didn't really begin to come off. It was meant to reach Hilaire, but didn't do so. Terry Venables was very happy indeed with the way that Palace have been playing, even though they haven't been picking up quite the number of points they picked up at the start of the season. They've won 5 games now without a win. But that's a goal by Walsh. Well, I wonder whether Corrigan will blame himself for that. It was hit firmly by Walsh, that's for sure, but it was, without question, Joe Corrigan got his hands to it, and it just crept over the line. Palace 1, Manchester City 0. The scorer is Ian Walsh. Bailey. Set back on his return that he could well have done without. There's a little more of a smile on the face of Terry Venables now. Lovely turn. And a chase now for Swindlehurst. The strength got the better of Fucha. Let it go there. Great play here by Palace. Can Hilaire finish it off? And floated over in the end by Peter Nicholas. But what a delightful move that was by Palace, not least Hilaire's part in it, and the chase by Swindlehurst. And the way not quite opening up in that penalty area. Selkman. Daly. Reed's on the far side, and Mackenzie's over there too. There's Mackenzie. And they've got a corner. So Caton up. Corner already taken is Daly now. Made for Silkman. Daly going in there once more, but Gilbert should be there even at the expense of a corner. Swindlehurst taking a good look at Caton there. Burridge taking a good look around as well. As Daly once again takes this corner for Manchester City. And a good save. Well, it was Robinson's backward header. Daly's corner and Robinson's backward header, and good reactions on his line by the Palace goalkeeper, John Burridge. All the way through, and Kemba seemed almost to be in there, and at the end of a really brilliant move involving young Peter Nicholas and Steve Kemba, City just scrambled that away for the corner. Oh, and Daly making a mistake there, and in the end they get it away, but there was a certain amount of sloppiness in the City defence there. Now Bennett play the ball in for Silkman. Sanson coming away to gather it up again for Palace, though. Offside against Murphy.
future with the kick as we go into injury time now. City this goal down. They lost 4-0 last week, of course, at home against Liverpool. Before that, though, they've lost only one of their previous 8. They've had a good run after a bad start to the season. And here's Silkman chipping it in once more, but just a little too far for anybody to get on the end of it. Almost the last kick of the first half, I would imagine. And indeed, there goes the half-time whistle. John Burridge, in fact, who made 1 or 2 really good saves in the first half, particularly one from Barry Silkman that caused him to get a cut on the head that you can see was plastered there. Joe Corrigan, well, he made some good saves, but I think he'd be blamed a little bit for the goal that did go in, scored by Ian Walsh, the one goal that puts Crystal Palace into the lead at half-time after a really entertaining first half here. These two sides managed by 2 men who look for adventurous football, Malcolm Allison and Terry Venables. The half-time score, was still much to come, still on the big match today, is Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0. We'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to Selhurst Park. Manchester City now attacking the goal to our right, a goal down. In fact, scoring has been one of their problems of late. They've scored only 4 times in their last 6 games. They're facing a Crystal Palace side, a goal up, as you can see, and a side that hasn't been beaten at home here in the league this season. They've only had 1 defeat at home, and that was against Wolves in the League Cup. Silkman. No doubt on the break once or twice in that first half. City looked very exciting and dangerous indeed. And here's Ranson leading another charge for them. What a good bit of play by him as well for Silkman, calling for a good cross, but by no means getting it. And a goal kick. Daly. And now Hilaire. Now, can he find the angle for that cross? That's a good cross there. Oh, and what a good bit of football as Walsh went soaring into that one. And Corrigan saved superbly. But what a cross by Bitzer there. The angle looked impossible the way he was running, but he screwed that ball back perfectly. Inch perfect for Walsh to climb, and big Joe Corrigan get his fingertips to it and over it went. So a corner for Palace. A sparkling bit of football. Murphy with that corner. And now a chance for City to make a break. Robinson laying it up for Bennett, who's a lone man up here, but what a nice touch by him. Finding Mackenzie. Robinson's gone up there with him. Mackenzie holding on to it just for a moment too long. With the ball nonetheless coming to Steve Daly. And now to Bennett, who's onside. And that's a goal, or rather a corner. Daly with the cross, a deep one. Burridge gathering it well. Kemba feeding it forward towards Swindlehurst. That fell nicely for him. 3 against 3 here, 4 against 3. In fact, as Hilaire comes up very quickly on this left-hand side. That was tough. That wasn't what Vince Hilaire wanted or the situation required. And a goal kick. Certainly to have 4 against 3 coming forward with power as they did. It's sad for Palace. Kemba pushing down on Mackenzie, a free kick to Manchester City. Just over 10 minutes of the second half gone. Future with the free kick. Caton's gone up on the far side. Will only come as far as Silkman. Ranson's right in there, Bennett is in there, and a shot beautifully saved by Burridge from Reed. Nick Reed really gave that a tremendous club with his right foot. Well, applause from the director's box and from Ian Smith, as Reed really clouted that ball with his right foot. And Burridge did what Corrigan had done just a moment before. Daly again, sweeter corner that time. Missing it there. Silkman trying to make something of it. Daly planting it back into the middle again. Tommy Caton was right in there, just trying to get Bennett on his way. And in the end, it was Billy Gilbert who found Dave Swindlehurst. Power. Silkman. Oh, a good run here by the fullback Power. And good covering as well. Ball spun away from Billy Gilbert there. Steve Daly turning it in once more towards Reed. A little backward flick there for Robinson. And now can Reed turn it in? Well, that was a great save by Burridge. Robinson really hit that ball. Burridge parried it, and Reed couldn't quite force it home. Reed. Barry Silkman over there at the bench having a word with Malcolm Allison about something. Maybe he didn't want Nick Reed to go. Playing it forward. In fact, Swindlehurst just played on the side there by Ranson. It's Ranson who comes across there, and that looks like a corner. He's caused a few problems by his determination, his running, and his strength. Was Dave Swindlehurst this afternoon, and Tommy Caton has had his hands full for really most of the game. So it's a corner then, which Steve Kemba's going to take. Cannon and Hinshelwood are up. And it's Murphy swinging it in there. And headed off the line, Cannon's header. And Swindlehurst has put it in. Well, they thought they'd got over their immediate crisis city. There's a shot that shows the joy of scoring. As the header went in from Cannon, it was knocked off the line by Ray Ranson, but he got no length on it, and Swindlehurst was able to turn and whack it into the roof of the net. Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 0. Scorer Dave Swindlehurst, the man in because of the injury to Mike Flanagan, and he's had a really good game. Power get past him. Well, that's Henry knocking it back there towards Robinson. And Daly just wide
when his first goal for his new club would have been absolutely priceless at this point. Now playing such a part in it on the far side, getting the ball over, and Mick Robinson somehow knocking it back. That was an effort in itself. Daly hitting it, and the ball going wide. Here's Hilaire. It's a lovely cross there. Oh! Well, Swindlehurst had a great chance to add his second and Palace's third. His control betrayed him. But what a cross again that was by young Vince Hilaire. Absolutely perfect for Swindlehurst. Feature. Silverman. Nice little bit of touch there, finding Daly. Turn, a nice touch again as the ball comes back to Silkman, and Bennett is in there. This must be a chance for him. Flicking off the top of the crossbar. Beautiful bit of skill. On the move all the time, kept the ball in the air when it came to him. And found a good, powerful shot from a difficult angle, just flicking off the top of that Palace crossbar. Well, there was a bit of determination for you as well from Kenny Sanson, when it looked as though Ranson's first opportunity and first thought in his head was just to deliberately balk the Crystal Palace number 3. It'll be a free kick to Palace. So what's awaiting Joe Corrigan here? As Murphy flicks that little free kick in there. Well, Corrigan called upon to save superbly from Hinchelwood. And the ball finally into touch. And Corrigan getting a great round of applause there. A beautifully flighted free kick there from Murphy, and Hinchelwood in a lot of space. Good save. It's Vince Hilaire coming on. Oh, he's had a fine game with some lovely skills, and quite deservedly getting a great round of applause. Offside. Off, missing the last few seconds of the game. Murphy, final whistle, and a victory for Crystal Palace. Defeat for Big Mal on his return to Selhurst Park. Big enough to take it with a smile, and a big performance in many ways by Joe Corrigan. He was under fire for so long. It was Dave Swindlehurst's goal in the second half which really settled the whole thing after Ian Walsh, number 9, had scored in the first half, and the ball went through Corrigan's arms. A lot of attacking football, a lot of very good goalkeeping, and Palace just that little bit more positive when it came to the penalty area, where City seemed to be that little bit lacking in finishing. So then, as the players come off at the end of a really entertaining game here at Selhurst Park, a final score, and it's Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 0.
So a victory for Palace, well deserved, that puts them into 4th place, but what's more important, I think you'll agree, a match where the good things in football came out on top. Skill, attack, and still the bite of competition as well. And afterwards I talked to the two men who by their philosophy brought it about. Managers Terry Venables of Crystal Palace and Malcolm Allison of Manchester City.
I felt the crowd was tremendous, and I hope they really enjoyed it, which I think was an excellent game.
What was your verdict overall, Terry?
Well, like you said, it was written up to be a great game of attacking teams, young players, everything that's good in the game, and I was just pleased that it even surpassed that. I thought the football at times from both sides was absolutely superb.
What did you feel about the first goal, Malcolm? I mean, it was a strongly hit shot by Ian Walsh, but I mean, what did you feel about Joe Corrigan's part in it?
Well, Joe was disgusted with himself, but I think that he was so disappointed when the ball went through his hands that he didn't recognise that if he'd have turned, he could have just put his hand on the ball and it wouldn't have been in the net. Which is very unusual for Joe, because he's got very, very good reaction. He's a very alert guy and a tremendous trainer, a good professional. And he was just absolutely frustrated and disappointed with himself.
Yes. Because it was amazing, because there was so much good goalkeeping right through that one incident should spoil it.
He was falling and he went to catch it. He's got beautiful hands and he just went through them.
I'm getting worried.
Do you feel, talking about another incident, that maybe a penalty early on in the game, which looked as though it was a penalty to you, that might have turned the whole thing?
I'm not allowed to say anything.
That was quite funny. That was quite funny, because we had a little interchange there of he'd jumped up because he thought it was a penalty, and of course the player reacted as well, and he said to the referee, "No penalty," and he got his name taken. So I said, "Here, you've just taken his name for him." So he said, "I'll find him Monday."
But your feeling was, I mean, you're entitled to an opinion, for heaven's sake.
No, we're not entitled to an opinion, but I think he was tripped in the penalty area. But that's only an opinion.
And it's an opinion I share, because if you see Dave Bennett coming in here, Billy Gilbert is the Palace man. Bennett number 4, in fact he is only just inside the box, but after all you've only got to be inside the box to get a penalty if you're tripped. And what do you feel? Do you feel that he was inside the box there and tripped? My feeling was that Malcolm Ellison was right. Tough one for the referee, all the same. But what did Malcolm think about the Palace youngsters on this day?
Yeah, it was nice to see them. You know, they were all kids when I was here, and they're growing up now, and they caused us a few problems. Tremendous, you know. It's great to see young players who have got good habits, and Johnny Cartwright and Terry have given them very excellent habits, and they're going to be a force, and they're going to be worth watching and interesting to watch, and that's what the game's all about.
I know in your time here you said that you could see Crystal Palace as being the Liverpool of the South. I mean, do you see that a stage closer now than when you were here?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think they're an excellent side, and I think that they're finishing the first 4 in the league. One or two people have been saying they're on the slide, like Terry says, and I say to them, yeah, they lost 4 games last year and they lost 2 this year in the league, in 55 games. They lost 6 games in 55 games, not bad.
No. You must have a feeling that your side is beginning to shape up a little bit now.
I'm very pleased with the way the boys work and their attitude, and they're great. I think they're going to be great learners, and I think they will improve. And you know, you just got to work at the game and just hope that they get better and better and better. And you know, I hope the next time we come back here that we do the same to him as he's done to me.
What did you feel about having this fella back again?
Well, it's always nice to see Malcolm back, but obviously we both wanted to win. You know, I mean, that's the business. But it's great to see him. Looking well, young, virile. Looks well for 36, doesn't he?
Shh, don't give away my age.
Terry Venables and Malcolm Ellison, and what about that for a man laughing in defeat? And people say there's no fun in football these days. Well, you also saw yesterday the guest of honour at Crystal Palace was the former Rhodesian leader, Ian Smith, and I wondered what he'd thought about this game.
These are professional people, and technically I'm very impressed with the standard of the football here. I saw an excellent game last Saturday as well. I wanted to see Nottingham Forest because, you know, they're right at the top, so I said if they come to London, let's go and see them. We went to see them, and what do we see? Spurs beating them. So that was fantastic football. I think the people of Britain are lucky. I think they see soccer, which is right and out of this world, amongst the best in the world. Wherever you go, the First League, I mean, every game seems to be absolutely excellent. So the soccer fans of this country get a rare feast of wonderful sport.
I'm interested that you wanted to see Nottingham Forest play. You'd heard about them, obviously, and Brian Clough, their manager. Was that a name that you were acquainted with?
Yes. Although I am more of a rugby fan, I'm a rugby player. That was my game. I've always been a bit of a mad sportsman, and I love all sport. You know, I think if you understand sport and balls, you can follow any game. My father used to play soccer as a youngster in Scotland, and we start playing soccer as youngsters in our schools. Yes. And when we go to the senior school, we then play rugby. So we have an understanding of soccer, and I can follow it very well.
At which point we're going to take a short break, and after it, action from a fine game between Derby County against West Bromwich Albion, also Sunderland against Chelsea, and your chance to go and meet the England team. We'll be back.
The big match, part 3, Crystal Palace versus Manchester City, production number 40012, third recording 4/11/79, take 1.
Back. Our next match today comes from the second division and Chelsea's visit yesterday to Sunderland. Now, Chelsea's successful run, of course, came to an end last week when they were beaten by Fulham. Now, Jeff Hurst's men take on a team that many people tipped for promotion. The pictures come from Tyne Tees, the commentator Roger Thames, Chelsea in the dark strip.
4 tight in the wall there. John Bumstead, the man shielding the ball, I suspect. 3 Sunderland men standing over it. Dunn. Through the wall, Whitworth. Whitworth again, and Chivers gets the important boot to that one. The referee has given an indirect free kick here, or possibly the foul on Steve Whitworth as his head went down to that ball, right on the edge of that 6-yard box. Arnott's there, Dunn's there. Must be a short kick. Arnott, but it's not in. Dunn, blocked on the line, and finally hacked clear. Well, that was a golden opportunity for Sunderland there. It just ricocheted off the wall. We could have had some controversy there if that goal had been scored. So I don't think Chelsea would have been very happy about the free kick being awarded in such a dangerous position. Gary Locke lining up to take this free kick. Oh my word, that's in from Gary Johnson, and that was just oh so simple. Well, the free kick was from Gary Locke, and he slipped over as he took it, but it certainly didn't affect the direction of it, and Gary Johnson was underneath that one, and as simple as you like, he just nodded it over Barry Siddall and into the back of the net. Whitworth, that ball rather overstruck. Give it the 1-2, here's Arnott. Gilbert. That ball nearly fell right for Rob Hindmarsh. Might still fall okay for Barry Dunn. Dunn, can he turn it in? That's an easy chance there for Kevin Arnott. Kevin Arnott the scorer, but Barry Dunn, no mistake, the man who made it. Back in the side today after all that trouble in midweek, and that's the sort of skill he can produce. Good close control in tight situations. Over it came the cross, it eluded everybody, and there was Kevin Arnott almost on the goal line, the simplest of chances and the equaliser for Sunderland. Deep for Jeff Clark, can't get a clean header at it. Finally Ron Harris lashes it clean. Whitworth. Rowell now. Gilbert's in the middle, a chance for Gilbert, and he's taken it! Tim Gilbert gets number 2. They both found themselves in space there, and Gary Rowell had the ball under control. Gilbert made the break. Rowell slipped it through, and Gilbert kept his head and slipped the ball past Peter Barota. Sunderland take the lead. They lead 2-1. 8 minutes of the second half gone.
Bumstead under that one. Hindmarsh again. Gilbert, up straight to Ian Britton. Oh, how did Siddle keep that one out? Header there from Johnson, I think, came right off his feet as he was diving the wrong way. The breeze getting up here at Roker Park. Now here's Dunn. Rota did well then. Oh, off the line. Off the line by Graham Wilkins, the shot from Rob Hindmarsh. And Barota in the Chelsea goal, lucky to escape then on 2 occasions.
But sadly, that was the second successive defeat for Chelsea. And, of course, tomorrow night, Sunderland come to London to face West Ham in a League Cup replay at Upton Park. Sunderland with Brian Robson, who came off yesterday with a calf injury in that game, makes him very doubtful for the game tomorrow night. Meanwhile, Alan Devonshire of West Ham came off during the victory for West Ham over Wrexham yesterday. He's had a virus infection during the week. But manager John Lyall says that he expects Alan to be fit. Now let's turn to your letters, and it was heartening really to get such a good response to our feature last week when we looked at the world of football 10 years ago this month. And coming out of it, Mr. G.H. Bradshaw of Dagenham in Essex wrote to point out how many of London's current football managers have been in action themselves in the past decade, and maybe we could illustrate the point. He mentions, for example, Terry Neal of Arsenal, here seen on a less successful occasion as player-manager of Hull City against QPR, and I think you'll notice a very youthful goalkeeper named Phil Parkes.
Now Phil Parkes, his biggest test of the afternoon, facing Terry Neal. Because if Hull can get a point here, it's going to be a precious point. He won't have taken many more important kicks this. Now we have it from behind the goal, a beautiful view. As Neal tries for the penalty. Oh, and he's missed it!
Also, Jeff Hurst of Chelsea, here a goal scorer for West Ham.
Best going for it, and Hurst is right there with him. Hurst with a chance, and there it is! That will do! And Hurst has scored!
Also, Mike Bailey, new manager of Charlton, here striking out for Wolves.
Hibbett with this corner for Wolves. Hit towards Bailey, on the volley! Oh, and what a save again! Absolutely amazing.
And Terry Venables, here in his Queen's Park Rangers playing days.
So now Venables with the free kick. Floated this time deep and straight in! Yes, that will do!
You can imagine how embarrassing it is for me to hear those shouting commentaries of the old days. Just to remind you, though, of course, that we should be looking back 10 years on one of our big match programmes later this month. That's become a regular feature now. Also this week, Ian West, who's a Brentford fan who lives at 216 Woodland Gardens, Isleworth in Middlesex, drew my attention to this cutting in last week's News of the World. Comeback Colin was the title. Los Angeles Aztecs goalkeeper Colin Bolton, who won a league championship medal with Derby County, is keen to return to English football and is looking for a football. I suppose that might come in useful for him. Also, let me go on and remind you of the address to write to if you want to get something off your chest about the game or the programme, any misprints like that you may have seen. And particularly, of course, if you spot something in a game that we don't. This is the address I'd like you to write to. The Big Match, London Weekend Television, London SE1. I'll give it to you again. The Big Match, London Weekend Television, London SE1. And keep your pen and paper by you, because now we come to our first competition of the season, where the prize is the chance to join England on match day to meet Ron Greenwood and his men and to see them in action at Wembley that night. The competition, in fact, is in 3 parts. Part A is what was the significance of this match? And whose voice is this?
The only way to beat Liverpool, you know, you can't really go out and play against them because they don't let you, so it's obviously going to be a very physical game, so we've got to be a bit physical as well, and that's the way it turned out. And it was a scrappy game, really, won by a scrappy goal.
And see what happened after this. Just to recap then, A, what was the significance of that first match we showed you? I don't want to know the name of the scorer or indeed the result, just the significance of it. And did you recognize that voice? That was part B. And C, what happened next? Answers on a postcard, please, then, to this address. Match day with England, London Weekend Television, London SE99 6YW. Let me give you that one again. Match day with England, London Weekend Television, London SE99 6YW. And for the first correct answer out of the bag, the chance for the winner to go at Ron Greenwood's invitation to the England team's hotel on the European Championship match day against Bulgaria on November 21 to meet all the players and then to take a friend with our compliments to the game itself at Wembley that night. And I promise you that'll be a day, well, that any football fan will long remember. And we've got 6 consolation prizes as well. This newly published football encyclopedia. And in fact, it's a really good one with full of facts and good photographs, all the knowledge, a lot of reading in there for you that you would enjoy. Oh yes, a face there that you'd recognize as well. I do hope that you're one of the lucky ones. Okay, our last match today, and it's into the Midlands, a really good one, this one. Derby County struggling close to the bottom against West Bromwich Albion, who are now beginning to find a bit of form. The pictures are from ATV, the commentator's Hugh Johns, Derby County here in the white shirts.
Buckley into Powell. Buckley looking down the line for Roger Davies. Got a good nick on that for Duncan, but the ball coming back now for Albion. As Ali Brown goes. And on for Tony Brown. And another touch. And a goal for Robson. 1-0. Tony Brown denied the final pleasure, but a lot of the credit for that goes down to him. John Robson's goal, Brian Robson's goal. But it was a super bit of skill here by Ali Brown. And now watch for Tony Brown to start his run now. The advancing McKellar in trouble, actually parries it down, but following up, there's the scorer, Robson. And a breakout for Albion, Mills. And Ali Brown has sneaked to go. No, it's been knocked off. It's been knocked off. Well, that looked a perfectly good goal. And here's Emery. Looking in for Duncan. Touch off for Langan. Powell. Not too much on for him. Changes it for Buckley. The ground, it's Emery, Duncan, and Buckley. Oh, what an unlucky moment. Well, I think Godden can't believe his luck at that superb run by Buckley. Wound up with the shot coming absolutely straight to him. This is the run that started it. Buckley goes in. Little nick off. Small indecision there. Duncan gets a touch, and the way Buckley strode onto that, he could have hit it almost anywhere, and he picked Godden. Rioch as Mills gets back at him. Now Powell, Rioch, Langan, and this looks like a better attack from Derby. Langan's got to try it himself now. Oh, yes! Well, I'm not at all sure that Gordon Hill didn't get the last touch on that. And might just have been offside too, but the flag stayed down, and the goal counts, and it's 1-1. Here's the run. That's Rioch feeding it off. Now, Langan could have laid the ball off, but once he's committed himself to this run, everything closes up, and he's got to go inside. Now he's got to try the shot himself. Now, let's see where Hill was. There's Hill, and it comes off Hill, off Godden's fingertips, and Hill's claiming it. And it's Statham who knocks that free kick in to Owen, an early ball on. And it goes wide, wide across to Hill. Oh, what a bad clearance. Only as far as Mills. Gets to the line, the cross in low. Oh, what a fine try from Robson. Oh, the reactions of Brian Robson then. Electrifying. But again, the pace of Mills. Cross the box. First time shot just past. Batson Albion putting lots of people forward now as they look to go back into the lead. And well won by Statham. And now Mills. And he's just wide. Osgood is angry, pointing. But it was Mills whose final shot was so close. All started, of course, by the fine work of Statham here, who really fought for the ball. Mills is free, onside. His shot beats McKellar and the post as well. Duncan. Mills to Buckley. Rioch. Duncan across. Emery to hit it. Good goal. Fine goal. Steve Emery. His very first goal since he joined the club from Hereford. Maybe the most important goal he'll score for a long, long time. It's 2-1. Look at the coolness of this young player. He sees his chance just outside the box, and the first-time shot low into the corner. Rioch skating away from Owen. Rioch going on his own. It's on the left foot. And he feeds it off beautifully to Hill. Oh, what a fine drive. Now, that's more like the Gordon Hill that Derby fans have been looking for. But all the work done by Bruce Rioch. A lovely weighted ball for Hill, who does not hesitate at all when Rioch feeds it in his path. And Gordon, well, it was a tremendous save he finally made.
2-1 for Derby County. Maybe it was the camera angle. There did seem to be an offside element about the first 2 goals that were scored, but what about this one by West Bromwich Albion that would have made it 2-0, remember, that was disallowed? Referee Peter Willis of County Durham said there was a push by Alistair Brown there. I wonder what you thought about that one. It didn't look too severe to me, and clearly that was the turning point in the whole game. That would have made it 2-0 for West Bromwich Albion and difficult for Derby to come back. That's it then. Thanks again for being with us today. Some marvellous skills, I think you'll all agree, in the action for you today, not least, of course, from that sparkling game between Crystal Palace and Manchester City, where we saw, again, what an up-and-down life it is for goalkeepers. City's Joe Corrigan brought off some stunning saves.
And now Hilaire. Now, can he find the angle for that cross? That's a good cross there.
Oh, and what a good bit of football as Walsh went soaring into that one.
So what's awaiting Joe Corrigan here? As Murphy flicks that little free kick in there.
Well, Corrigan called upon to save superbly from his...
But Joe will remember something else and how agonising it was before the ball actually crossed the line.
But that's a goal by Walsh.